Alliance World Heavyweight Champion, ladies and gentlemen, the Beast, Dan Severn! This bout is one fall with a 60-minute time limit. The National Wrestling Alliance has selected Rick Manning as your official for this world title event. Go, go! This is for the World Championship. In the ring, in the black trunks, you see the Beast on his tights, Dan Severn. 250 out of Coldwater, Michigan. We could spend the entire match talking about this man's credentials. Ultimate Fighting Champion, first degree black belt, combat sambo, and so on and so forth. But he is the champion. The challenger in the red tights, it's the Red Dogg. The Red Dogg, Rodney Begnaud is his name. He likes to be called the Red Dogg. He's 280. He's out of the dog pound. Ladies and gentlemen, the Red Dogg is the Texas heavyweight champion and a top contender for the world title. Tonight is his night. He gets his shot at the world championship. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a 60-minute time limit. Rick Manning is the referee. And we start off with some, as you would expect, kind of some go-behinds, takedowns, a little almost amateur-style wrestling. Now, not to sell short the credentials of the Red Dogg, ladies and gentlemen. The Red Dogg is an NCAA wrestling, I believe he was a top contender or a top finisher for the NCAA championship out of University of Tennessee, the Red Dogg, whereas Severn, coming out of Arizona State University, as the Red Dogg, taking down Dan the Beast Severn. But the Red Dogg's got his credentials too, like I say. The Red Dogg, you know, an amateur wrestler out of Tennessee, has been trained by Rod Price, the former California stud, the former NWA Texas champion, now wrestling in Extreme Championship Wrestling, trained by Rod Price. The Red Dogg, his valet, Jasmine, or his former valet, I shall say, she's also moved on to Extreme Championship Wrestling. I guess they like to pick off NWA Southwest talent, and I don't blame them. Definitely comes from a good background. The nephew of the late, great Junkyard Dog, as a matter of fact. Something not a lot of fans know. So, as the Red Dogg had said earlier in an interview, I don't know whether you caught it or not, but, you know, the Dogg's looking down on him on this one. The JYD and the Red Dogg's going all out in his first chance at the world title. And I tell you what, fans, the only federation that's going to bring world title matches to Fort Worth, NWA Southwest. If you want a piece of the action, if you want to see stars like Dan Severn, stars like the Red Dogg, stars like announcer Johnny T, who's not afraid of shameless self-promotion, that's me, thank you very much. Come on down. We're right off 820, Highway 26 in North Richland Hills, right behind Hooters. We're here every Friday night. Severn mocking the Red Dogg. Mocking the Red Dogg's little chant. Drop toe hold takedown by Dan Severn into a grapevine leg lock. Red Dogg reaching for the ropes in this one. Severn grabs him by the forehead. Kind of a form of an STF, but not quite, because usually they grab under the chin. Severn, so brutal crossface by and another brutal crossface by Severn as he hammers the Red Dogg. And you know, the Red Dogg had to feel the pressure going into this match. I mean, Dan Severn, he was on the Olympic wrestling team in 1984 and 1988. He is the holder of 90, count them, 90 state, national, international records titles for Greco-Roman, freestyle, Sambo, Judo, and my God, the guys, like I said, we could talk about his credentials the whole match, but I think what's important is he's just one tough competitor, taking nothing away from the Red Dogg. I tell you what, I think 85% of the people in this arena want to see the Red Dogg walk away with this NWA gold that's sitting right in front of me. You're going to see a lot of submission-style wrestling from Dan Severn. Dan Severn is a submission expert. Whether it be the armbar submissions, whether it be the choke submissions, whether it be the leg lock submissions, I could go on, and maybe I will. Whether it be the elbow submissions, the back submissions, the forehead submissions, the chin submissions. Well, anyways, you get the point. The point being, Dan Severn is a submission expert. And, and he grapevines into kind of a double chicken wing into the Red Dogg. Dan Severn continuing to wear down the Red Dogg. Definitely Severn trying for a submission here. And he's got the Red Dogg just wrapped up from the get-go here in this bout for the NWA World title. Severn getting back to a more traditional professional wrestling style with a splash into the ropes. And he throws the Dogg in. And the Red Dogg, belly-to-belly suplex on Severn. All right, Red Dogg. Red Dogg makes his move. 5 minutes expired in the time limit. 55 minutes remain in the time limit. And we're 5 minutes in. This is a 60-minute time limit. If it goes to a draw, Dan Severn holds on to his belt. And the corresponding championship, of course, two count. Red Dogg, my God, that was so close. And Severn is look at Severn reeling. The headbutts by the Red Dogg. I don't know that Dan Severn has seen a challenger like the Red Dogg before. Severn out on the floor. The fans chanting for a Red Dogg. My gosh, the chance of a lifetime for the Red Dogg. Not to say, now, I mean, no matter what happens here, Dan Severn is going to have plenty of shots at the world title in his career. Rodney Begnaud, the Red Dogg, is going to have plenty of shots at world titles in his career. Both young men, both just starting out in the sport. Well, I guess, you know, Severn at 40, maybe not the youngest man, but, you know, I mean, Severn does not look his age. I mean, Dan Severn is a very, very tough man, and he's got so much experience. But no, the younger man, you know, a heck of a career. It kind of reminds me, I don't know if a lot of you fans remember, but a Tommy Rich, a very young Tommy Rich, won the world title at a very young age and shocked the world when that happened. And something very similar could happen here tonight as Severn slapping the Red Dogg, going for the choke. The Red Dogg could shock the world right here out of Northeast Fort Worth, North Richland Hills, the name of the town, and win the world title. I know a lot of the locals here are pulling for the Red Dogg. they come down to the arena every week, they see the Red Dog. The only thing they don't like, I was talking to a few of our regular fans, with the Red Dog, if he runs out of here with the NWA gold, we're probably not going to see him back here too often, but my gosh, that's not much of a sacrifice to make. I mean, to have the world champion come out of NWA Southwest and a single leg crab by Dan Severn, trying to get the Red Dog to submit as Severn just reefs on that leg. If you're wondering where Dan gets his Beast moniker from, at an Ultimate Fighting Championship, Dan just was tore into a few competitors. Backstage, the other competitors were saying what a beast Dan Severn had been. And, you know, much like bubble gum on your shoe, the name stuck. Hence, Dan Severn became known as Dan the Beast Severn. Now, I'll tell you something about the Red Dog here. Rodney has proven himself as a huge force in the rankings. He is always in the NWA Southwest top 10 and also lately in the world top 10. He has a vast array of high impact moves. He is definitely one of the strongest men in NWA Southwest, one of the strongest men in the entire NWA. In fact, I would go so far as to say that the Red Dog can bench press more than I can. Well, Rick Manning can probably bench press more than I can. Shit, what am I talking about? These little kids in front of me can bench press more than I can. But anyways, Rick Manning makes the count. Keep in mind, a 20 count outside of the ring instead of a 10 count. Red Dog has a 20 count outside of the ring. Another little variation of the rules here in NWA Southwest is that if a man has another man in an illegal maneuver, like Dan Severn, in the no-holds-barred mixed martial arts type of fighting that he does often, and has actually the best record as far as verifiable. There's many claiming different records here and there. As far as a verifiable record goes in no-holds-barred fighting, mixed martial arts fighting, if you're Jeff Blatnick and want to call it that, Dan Severn has the best record with only 3 losses. And in that style of fighting, Dan Severn with a big chop to the Red Dog. Excuse me for a moment. 10 minutes expired on this bout. 50 minutes remain in the tournament. And the Red Dog turns it around with chops of his own. Severn, so adept at those chokehold submissions. Those holds are not legal. Oh, and the whipping of the rope and the clothesline by the Red Dog. Chokehold submissions not legal in professional wrestling, but Severn in the NWA has a 5 count to break a chokehold. So really, he can hold it for 4 and severely weaken an opponent with the chokehold before having to let it go. A key point in this bout. Big power bomb by the Red Dog. And a 2 count only. I don't know that you're going to pin Dan Severn without hooking the arm, the shoulder, and the leg. That time he had him down by the leg, but he needs to get that shoulder kind of pinned down with his arm. He needs to kind of grab the leg. Red Dog going for another power bomb. Severn tosses him over. Whip into the ropes by Severn. Severn trying to hammer the Red Dog. Early on, we saw Severn with all the submission type maneuvers on the Red Dog, trying to weaken him. I think what happened, oh, big power slam by the Beast. Leg on the rope by the Red Dog. Leg on the rope by the Red Dog. 2 count only. And now the Red Dog, excuse me, the Beast, Dan Severn, the world champion, is trying to pin the Red Dog I think what he saw is the Red Dog was showing a lot of resilience to those submission maneuvers in the early going, and the Beast thought the better of it, thought maybe I've got a better chance to pin this guy than to get him to submit. Now the Red Dog himself, we've seen the Red Dog with a submission hold of his own. He calls it the choke chain, a kind of sleeper type submission hold that the Red Dog has shown us in recent weeks. Oh, and the Beast, Dan Severn, he's got him in the Dragon Sleeper. He's got him in the Dragon Sleeper. Dan Severn has the Red Dog and the Dragon Sleeper. How long? Oh, the Red Dog gets the ropes. The Red Dog gets the ropes. Oh, but the Beast holds on. The Beast holds on. Rick Manning trying to get Dan Severn off. He has a 5 count to break. That Dragon Sleeper, oh so dangerous. We've seen Dan Severn use that Dragon Sleeper so many times in the past to put opponents out. A credit to the Red Dog for ring awareness, knowing where he's at and grabbing those ropes. Many a man would forget where he's at and not necessarily try for the ropes. Red Dog got out of the hold as quickly as he could. And the Red Dog with a good takedown on the world champion Dan Severn. 15 minutes expired in this bout. 45 minutes remaining. We are 15 minutes into this bout. As we pass the 15-minute mark of this bout, it's a 60-minute time limit for all world title matches. Russian leg sweep by the Red Dog. Whoa, and the Red Dog signaling. What is the Red Dog going for? Is he going for his own submission hold, the choke chain? The Red Dog, I think he's going to try and cinch it in. I think he's going to try and cinch it in. The choke chain, the choke chain. The Red Dog has the world champion in the choke chain. We could see the world title change hands right here in North Richland Hills. Dan the Beast Severn gets to the ropes, and a photographer at ringside gets in a little bit too close to the Red Dog. Look out. Dan Severn got out of the choke chain. They're fighting out right in front of us. Dan Severn, the champion out of Coldwater, Michigan. The industrial technology major when he was at Arizona State University. So he's no dummy. And Dan Severn's going for a chair. He certainly didn't learn this at Arizona State University, nor did the Red Dog learn this at Tennessee State. Look out, ladies and gentlemen, we have dueling chairs at ringside. The Red Dog, but Severn gets him in the stomach, and Severn over the back. The action is spilled outside the ring. Oh, Dan Severn posts the Red Dog. He posts the Red Dog. Severn taking a chair into the ring. The Red Dog outside the ring. Dan Severn continuing. Oh, and he smartly throws the chair away from the grasp of the Red Dog, and he clubbers him in the head. He clubbers him in the head straight on with that chair. Oh my God. This is no Steve Regal, Dan Severn, NWA 50th anniversary match with a bunch of submission holds, putting the crowd to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, at NWA Southwest, oh my God, you see action like this every week. The world title is on the line. Ladies and gentlemen. It is Dan the Beast Severn in the black tights, along with the Red Dog, the challenger, the Red Dog in the red and white tights. I am your announcer, Johnny T, with NWA Southwest. We're out of North Richland Hills, ladies and gentlemen. This world title match right out of your own backyard. The world champion brought, he hammers the Red Dog. If I may use a wrestling cliche, it is a Pier 6 brawl going on at ringside. The Red Dog hammering the Beast. Whoa, it's a... Rick Manning calls for the bell. Rick Manning calls for the bell. Have both men forgot what was going on and been counted out? Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have a double count out action like this at the end of it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure who the winner is. I'm going to go to ringside, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Severn, the world champion, and the Red Dog fighting on ringside. We'll find out shortly what went on. Dude, guys, let me out over here. Is broken down here at ringside. It's Dan the Beast Severn being held back by El Destructo, him and the Red Dog. Ladies and gentlemen, is broken down. Many wrestlers on the ring. We still don't have a decision from referee Rick Manning, the world champion or possibly former world champion. I don't know what's happened in this bout. And the Red Dog. We have action at ringside. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try and get a decision here.
Double count out, double disqualification. There is no winner. Still, NWA heavyweight champion.